Aboriginal Australians have one of the world's oldest continuous cultures, dating back at least 65,000 years. But beyond this well-known fact, their history, innovations, and traditions are far more complex than most people realize. Here are 10 fascinating things you might not know. Long before the Egyptian pyramids were built, Aboriginal Australians were engineering complex eel traps. The Gunditjmara people of Victoria built an elaborate system of stone channels, weirs and pools at Lake Kondar to catch and farm eels. These traps are estimated to be at least 6,600 years old, older than Stonehenge. This proves that some Aboriginal groups were not just hunter-gatherers but also skilled aquaculture engineers. Before European settlement, Aboriginal Australians spoke more than 250 distinct languages, with over 600 dialects. Today, around 120 languages are still spoken, though many are endangered. Some Aboriginal languages are incredibly unique. For example, Gugu Yimithir, spoken in Queensland, has no words for left or right. Instead, speakers use cardinal directions: north, south, east, west. If you ask a speaker where your phone is, they might say it's northeast of your hand. This means Gugu Yimithir speakers develop an amazing sense of direction from a young age. Different Aboriginal languages also categorize colors differently. Many Aboriginal languages use sounds that don't exist in English, including clicks and unique consonants. Unfortunately, many Aboriginal languages are critically endangered due to colonization and forced assimilation policies, but efforts are being made to revive them through education and language programs. Aboriginal Australians didn't need written maps. Instead, they used songlines, oral maps embedded in songs and stories, to navigate vast distances. These songs described the land's features, waterholes and landmarks, allowing people to travel long distances without getting lost. Many Aboriginal groups used firestick farming, a method of controlled burning that cleared undergrowth and encouraged new plant growth. This helped attract animals for hunting and prevented large bushfires. Modern fire management is now adopting similar techniques. The Didgeridoo is one of the most recognizable Aboriginal instruments, traditionally played in ceremonies and storytelling. It originates from northern Australia and is still crafted today using hollowed-out eucalyptus trees. However, not all Aboriginal groups used the didgeridoo. Many had other musical traditions. Australia is home to some of the world's oldest known rock art, with paintings estimated to be over 40,000 years old. Found in places like Arnhem Land and the Kimberley, these artworks depict animals, spirits and dreamtime stories, giving insight into ancient Aboriginal life. Aboriginal Australians were not isolated. They had extensive trade networks that stretched across the continent. Items like ochre, shells, tools and animal products were exchanged between different communities. But one of the most fascinating trade relationships was with the Macassan fishermen from Indonesia. For centuries, the Macassans sailed to northern Australia, particularly Arnhem Land, to harvest sea cucumbers or trepang, which were highly valued in Chinese markets. In return, they traded goods like metal tools, cloth and tobacco with the Yolngu people of Arnhem Land. This contact wasn't just about trade, there was also cultural and linguistic exchange. The Yolngu people adopted Macassan words into their language, and some Aboriginal Australians even travelled back to Indonesia with the Macassans. The influence of this relationship is still seen today in art, language and oral histories among the Yolngu people. The dingo, Australia's wild dog, is not actually native to the continent. Genetic studies suggest that it arrived about 4,000 years ago, likely brought by seafaring people from India. Around the same time, archaeological evidence suggests that new stone tools and plant processing techniques also appeared in Australia, hinting at migration and cultural exchange between Aboriginal Australians and people from India. While Aboriginal Australians have been on the continent for much longer, this event shows that Australia was not completely isolated after initial human settlement. The arrival of the dingo had a major impact on Aboriginal life. Unlike domesticated dogs, dingoes were often semi-wild companions used for hunting, warmth, and protection. However, they may have also contributed to the extinction of the thylacine, or Tasmanian tiger, on the mainland by competing for food. Unlike mainland Aboriginal groups, the Tasmanian Aboriginal people did not use fire for cooking, warmth, or land management in the way others did. Early European accounts suggest that they had lost the knowledge of fire-making after Tasmania became isolated from the mainland about 12,000 years ago due to rising sea levels. Instead, they relied on eating raw foods or using natural heat sources when available. Despite being the original inhabitants of Australia, Aboriginal Australians were not counted as part of the population until a 1967 referendum. Before that, they were not officially recognised as Australian citizens. Over 90% of Australians voted to change this, allowing the federal government to make laws for Indigenous people and include them in the census. Aboriginal Australians have an extraordinary history filled with innovation, resilience, and deep cultural knowledge. From building the world's oldest aquaculture system to maintaining international trade relations centuries before European arrival, their contributions to history are remarkable. Which fact surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing content.